Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is Monday, and it is the Mindful Merchants show today. I got some news for y'all. Cali Reseller Luis is stuck in traffic. He's good, he's safe, and he's not going to be joining us today, as far as I know, unless we get like a little secret knock pop up. But right now, it is just me. I'm the Lone Star Picker, and like I said, Cali. Oops, and I gotta do a little bit of oh Lord, have mercy.
Happens to the best of us, man. Happens to the best of us.
You know what it is? And I had that big screen popped open, so I'm like, "Where's the button?" It is. I'm still like like a newbie on this whole thing. But ladies and gentlemen, right over here we have none other than Alex, who is now referred to as that man. He's like the coach of the coaches. Bro, give us a little ditty here.
Well, I'm Alex. Like he said, I am that man. I did go by Fat Man the Flipper once, and that's where that man came about. Because I still am obese. You know what I'm saying? I'm still obese, and I own that. Like I am obese right now. That is a medical term, and I am obese. I was morbidly obese. Not too long ago, about 4 months ago, I was 460 pounds. Today, after 4 months of being on a plan that I coach now, I've lost 110 pounds of fat.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man. It's pretty amazing, man. And it's not even the weight, dude. It's really transformed every aspect of my life. When you talk about health, I don't just talk about the physical. I'm talking about mentally, spiritually, financially, every aspect of my life, relationships, just everything is so much better because I started taking care of my health.
Awesome. So, when you take care of your being, you're taking care of like a lot of other stuff. It's like saying, how can you help others if you don't help yourself first? But like, that's amazing. That's a big transformation. Let me go back and put it in normal queue, dude.
Yeah, well,
being here, man.
Thank you, man. No, I appreciate you inviting me. I'm sorry, I thought I'd put my phone on silent.
That's okay. No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, if I don't put my phone on silent, it doesn't stop. It's crazy. Like 4 months ago,
that's kind of one thing I wanted to talk about too. Like not yet. I didn't mean to cut you off, but like there's this terminology that that I've been reading about historically, in both society-wise, but also like in spirituality. Is silence is such an underrated thing for people to help transform on their path. And I say path because I don't want to get religious, but like all of us, I think, are spiritual beings, and we all have a different path. How was that silence like ever work for you? Like, when did you realize like, let's shut stuff down?
Let's be honest. Like, I'm gonna be honest, and that's something I do. I'm just honest, all right. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. It took me forever to actually experience silence. Okay. I could turn off all the phones. I could turn off the TV. I can go in the middle of the mountains all by myself, and it was never silent because the voice in my head, was so loud all the time.
And I know you get this. I've been watching your videos and I've been listening to you a long time, Alex, really. And it's been, thanks again for being here, because like you've been on our radar forever, and it's just, you know what it is to kind of like run the whole gamut of just being content creation and running shows and things like that. So talking about silence, it's just like when you get to have somebody even on your show, it's like, wow, we're just having a conversation. This is all it's all about. But like you said, when you're in your head, that's a whole different thing,
Yeah, dude, because you try it. I first of all, why don't we say hi to some people, man? I see we got Tom Cruise in here.
Thank you, bro, for reminding me, because you know what, Luis is always like egging. He's like, come on, we got to say hi to the folks.
I mean, this is the
shout
reason.
out to everybody for being here. If you don't know, let me point this way. This is Alex. He's gonna be my like guest co-host today, but at the same time, he's our special guest because he's awesome. And real quick, let's go back up to the beginning, because I am slower than molasses. Our first one here was, guess who? Johnny.
What's up, Johnny?
Or everybody, he says. That's his thing. Do you know this guy? Who's this handsome?
That guy's hot, yo. Y'all need to go follow that guy right there.
Do you know that man?
I know that man. Man.
This guy. That's so good. Oh, Miss Ella. She's so eloquent. She's such a sweetheart. She's a wonderful, wonderful person.
What's going on?
Here we go. She's like, hello, Batman. Hello, Lone Star. And ladies and gentlemen, just for those who are coming in a little bit, and thank you. I'll shout out for everybody being here. Luis is going to be off today. So there's Lucky Charms. That's Miss Wendy. She's
What's up, Wendy?
Supporter of the Mindful Merchants program, which entails is we're trying to, like, I don't know. This is I'm saying hi to a few more folks. By the way, Tom Cruise, awesome stuff you guys been doing on the weekends. I don't know, you know Tom Cruise, and then
yeah.
West Side. Oops, I said East Side. You're gonna get mad now.
East Side.
Gary, him be doing their thing. You know, they got great auctions and stuff, and so
man, they're doing awesome. They're doing amazing. I'm super happy for them.
Yeah, I love them. They're really like astute stewards of YouTube. Like, they treat with respect. They show the love to everybody. You know, Key Lime Kisses, welcome. Thank you.
Key Lime.
Yo. There's Katie Reeds. She is our educator. Like, she is like the librarian of our YouTube content creators. She knows her stuff. She's a badass when it comes to books. Let me tell you, she knows the stuff. Are you still reselling right now, Alex?
I've come to realize that I never was a reseller.
Okay.
No, I mean, yes. So I do resell. I'm not as active personally with it. I've been able to switch my mindset and realize that, you know, it's a business, and so if I wanted it to, I wanted more time. So I've always talked about having time versus money, you know. So doing things so that, I mean, you need money. Money's a tool, right? But I changed how I looked at money. So instead of like going to garage sale and, you know, which I still do, I cannot pass up a garage sale. Like, I see a sign, I'm pulling in, right?
Well, you know, it's also you time, and if it brings a little joy, and you can consciously look at it and say, okay, I'm not doing it as an addiction. It just sits there, and, you know, but like, you got to look, and it's like, you know.
Yeah, no, you can't. Once you, it's like you're stuck. That's it. This is what you're gonna do for the rest of your. I'll be 70 years old, God willing, going to garage sales. Bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. But no, right now,
it is what we do. Yeah, there is a different like mindset in there. You know, as long as you can consciously kind of go, okay, is there intention for me doing this, and am I going to intentionally do something with this stuff, or what? You know, I don't know. You know, I mean, maybe that's the reseller me making that excuse for my addiction, but it's like, it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, man. I mean, right now, what I do predominantly is I run my businesses. So I'm more into like where I spend my time. I spend about 30 minutes a day on Amazon, and I spend maybe an hour a week on eBay. eBay I've kind of let go a little bit.
Yeah, I did too lately. Yeah.
Yeah, but my Amazon, I have contractors now, and I work with them. So I've been more of a teacher than a doer. And in teaching them, we've been able to make money together. So it's sort of like I'm just generating income by, you know, being a mentor in a sense, you know. And I've.
But it's still your business, and you're doing pretty. It sounds like you're predominantly like working really well with the time management in terms of structuring it. Well, making sure it works for you, like you said, quality time. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just, you know, like the fact is, last year was an amazing year. It was an amazing year for me, business wise, and I took it upon myself to invest in myself with my health and my education. So it was like a blessing, right? And so that's what I basically set off to do this year, and we're already halfway through the year, and I'm doing pretty well. I got certified to be a health coach.
So you are certified. That right there. That's take a drink, bro. Say hi to a couple more folks real quick.
Go ahead.
Buying space. Thank you for being here. We did say hi to Tom Cruise, and back by Silver. I saw you earlier. I don't know what that little mark is. Is that an ant or a mouse? I'm trying to figure that out.
That looks like a little mouse. Yeah, that's a little mouse.
At first, I thought, because it's so tiny, even with my new glasses, man, I'm telling you. It says, Rezilla Review says, I'm half asleep, not sure which half. Well, thank you for being here. You can let that good half, like, kind of like slowly listen, just kind of listen to us chatter. We're going to talk about everything and all thing. And I think maybe we'll just kind of focus on this, Alex, a little bit. Now we got the cat out of the bag. You are essentially a business person. So whether you resell or whatnot, and you have that potential, like you said, it's okay to put stuff on the back burner. I'll be honest, I got a confession to make. It's been 6 weeks. I have not done eBay listings.
I haven't listed in 3 months, dude.
But you're doing what you need to do. And there's a spiritual saying in my community. We say you are where you need to be. You are, meaning your being is where you need to be. And that's because you're consciously like, you're on this like trajectory. And I'm so proud of you, bro. Like I love seeing people take care of their business. And when their business is essentially like, and it's not an arrogant thing. It's just like, if you can't take care of yourself, how are you supposed to take care of life, you know? I know I'm preaching to the choir, like you got better ways to articulate it and put it into terms, but
not better ways, but maybe different, you know.
But as long as we all like are on the same page and we get it, you know, we get that glitter of gold of like saying, I know you're being sincere. I get what you're saying. It's just not the way I'm used to hearing it. And yeah, you know, some people need to kind of follow this trajectory, and some people take this and this and this. Let me see here real quick.
Squirrel.
By the way, who does your intros? You do some fabulous intros on your video.
Thanks, man. That's the only reason I even do YouTube, is because it's like a creative outlet for me, and I enjoy editing and, you know, putting my imagination in art. It's like art to me, really.
Good. Yeah, so do you consider yourself a creative person, like or maybe an artist of sorts?
Very, very creative. Very creative.
I picked up on it. I mean, I had the answer, but yeah, I wanted to hear it from you. You know, like, because that's where like a lot of our drive and our spiritual like passions and like our fire that's in us, it's in the gear. And I always tell people, like, you know, we stand on, like I said, I'll use, lack of a better term, resellers or business people here. You know, the show is, that's what we call it, merchants. We're all mercados. You know, it's like working in these little like frame of mind. How can we get a business going? How can we get that money, maybe some passive income, take care of ourselves? Because you got to work on the mental strategies, but you got to be really sharp on your mental well-being.
Yeah.
So you did take some time off, which is, I commend you, because I'm doing it at my pace. Everybody's like, aren't you worried about, you know, getting that 1K? And this, I'll get there when I get there. And I maybe 5 years from now. I'm not in a rush, because I know that if I don't stop and sleep and eat right, you know, haywire.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, dude, like, we set goals and we have plans and we want to achieve things and all that. It's great to focus on those things, right? But then at the same time,
shut the door real quick. Keep going.
Yeah, no problem, man. But at the same time, like, the way I like to go at it or look at it is, it's best to focus on where you're at now and remember where you came from, so that you can have gratitude, because what's going to come is going to come. And when we sometimes it happened to somebody the other day. That's why I'm even mentioning it, because they were all talking about, oh, I don't see myself, you know, losing that weight and this and that. But they lost 50 pounds in 3 months. But they're thinking too much ahead, and they're worried about it, right? So it's that fear of what might not happen. So the way I go about life is, yes, I have goals and I will achieve them, right? I'm going to reach my goals if I'm still alive to get to them, right? But it's more about getting there. It's not about actually being there. It's about the whole process of getting there. Man, the people you meet, the relationships you build, the hurt and the joy, all that stuff. It's beautiful. It's your story. And it's a story that you're going to be able to tell, and you're going to be able to help others with your story. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm not just listening. I think I hear what you're saying, bro, because like, it sounds cliche, but when people say, oh, it's, you know, it's not just the destination only. Yeah, we got to keep our aim and focus. Like, I need to get there, but it's part of that journey. If you don't accept everything as a gift, and that I love when you mentioned that word. The key word for me would be like, you know, and I hope a lot of people can realize this. And if I know that we're probably preaching to the choir, and it's not some of people's first rodeo, but it's a good reminder. Gratitude, you know, that we take little things for granted. Even that person that's like in line at the shopping store, you know, grocery store, and they tick us off, and like, well, what is that reminding me? To be patient, to be a little more loving, to be a little more kind, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, you know, like everybody's your teacher in some ways, you know what I mean? So when you take those things into account. I love that you're so aware of this. So this is one reason I love following you. Your awareness is like above the standard of some of the YouTubers. Take it as a compliment, whatever. But like, and I'm not trying to blow smoke out your booty, but it's like
my ego don't get inflated
not
like
what it
that.
takes. Your awareness level, dude, is like, and I've seen it already raise and increase. Like for you to be able to be humble and talk about whatever it is you talk about, let's go there. Like you got this new thing. I think you were on episode 1. I don't know if you already did number 2 yet. I don't think so. You had 3 other co-hosts with you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, yeah, we did about that. We did. Well, it was a spur of the moment kind of thing. We were actually challenged to go live every single day. And
what did you call the episode?
So it's called Before and After. So now what? Right. And so it's basically me and 3 other health coaches. And we just talk about health and wellness. We bring topics to the table. We ask questions. We engage. And we make you think, and we make you, try to figure out this whole health thing that we're all trying to. Everybody wants to be healthy, man. No, there's not one person in this world that doesn't want to be healthy. The thing is, how much do you want it, and what's preventing you from actually wanting it? It's like anything else. You can hit rock bottom, right? Me, I had to celebrate my 6-year clean and sober anniversary date. Okay, on February 11th.
I heard this. I love this. Keep going. I want to keep going. I love it.
On February 11th, I had to celebrate my 6-year clean and sober anniversary date from drugs and alcohol. I was a heroin addict. I was homeless. I had lost everything. I had no hope for the future whatsoever inside of me. I was hopeless. Okay, 6 years later, I just left the drive-thru at McDonald's, chasing Pokemon. All right, chasing those Pikachu cards, bro.
Yeah.
And I bought 5 Happy Meals only because it's the only amount of Happy Meals they allowed me to get. They wouldn't let me get more than 5. And I'm sitting there, and I'm wanting to open up the cards because I want to find Pikachu. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I end up eating those 5 Happy Meals, man. And
on your anniversary date.
Yeah, on my anniversary date from clean and sober. But the sickness was like this. I didn't just order 5 Happy Meals and give them to me however you want them. I ordered them specifically in a way that I knew I was going to enjoy them when I ate them. So I ordered three cheeseburgers, 1 hamburger Happy Meal, and a 4 or 6 piece chicken nugget Happy Meal. I ate almost all the fries, and I ate all the other stuff, all right? And 5 little small sodas, and I drank almost all of them, dude. So what I felt was disgusting, because when you eat that way, you feel disgusting. You feel bad. You feel really, really bad. And then
the food's not necessarily nutritious,
It's not. And the worst part is that you're doing it in silence. What if they find out? What if anyone would know that I'm eating like this? What if someone sees me eating like this? So I would hide in the same way that I would do when I was
going to say more of like a kind of a, it's more of like a hiding. It's a disguising than it is a silent. But and it's silent in the way like, well, you're not going to tell nobody.
Yeah, I wasn't going to tell nobody. But since it was my 6-year anniversary, all right, and I was blessed enough to have made it that far without relapsing on drugs or alcohol, right? I knew I had to tell the world, hey, I just said, because I wanted that. I wanted to celebrate my 6 years, dude, because that's an accomplishment for somebody who spent 18 years of their life addicted to drugs ever since they were 12 years old, who followed the wrong crowds, was in gangs, went to prison, or not prison, but went to jail, was facing prison life 15 years, and they were trying to honestly give me life. So somebody who lived this lifestyle and ended up losing everything because the drugs were so strong, the addiction was, I was unaware. Like you say, I have this amazing awareness, right? And I humbly understand that because I know I do. And I know I do because I know that I've worked on it, right? I know that there was a point in my life
you didn't take it for granted. You're like, you're just, you got something in you. There's this light or something that kind of, and I know, and I'm sorry to cut you up, but I wanted to bring up a point is I've been watching your path. I think the reason you may not, I want your input on this. I know one of the reasons you didn't take it for granted in that moment of awareness. We're talking about that moment that Alex just explained. Sitting in the drive-thru and you got all your goodies, but you're celebrating by yourself. Like, that being through the path of like 12 steps or something like that, you'll get you'll get recognized. You won't necessarily get patted on the back or anything because those guys will tell you the truth. Yeah. But like you want a celebration, so to speak, when you could have probably gone there, but it's just this fine line. It's like a double-edged sword. It's like, yeah, but what's going
Well,
real truth behind this? Isn't that step 4 about being brutally honest?
that's step 5. So,
5. Okay, so step 5.
Step 4 has honesty in it because you have to, make a moral inventory, a fearless and searching moral inventory of yourself.
But step 5, you better be honest about
step 5 is where you actually say you admit to yourself, you admit to another human being and then to your higher power the exact nature of your wrongs. So, you go through step 4 and you do this discovery of yourself by being honest about the things you've been through, the people you've been resented with, the people who have hurt you, your sexual life, all kind of things. And then you discover yourself through there, but to understand it and to let it go, like that's why I always talk about, everybody says, oh, just leave the past in the past. Well, that makes sense. You can just leave the past in the past, but that
you gotta acknowledge it, right?
You have to acknowledge it. So if you don't, most people, when we go through things, when we get angry with someone or when we, do something wrong or whatever, we kind of want to forget about it because we don't want to be guilty. We don't want to feel shame.
But that's what I was talking about, like going into like your like deep silence of like where, like you said, most people can't stand not hearing white noise in the background or having a TV on, a radio, videos,
because then they have to listen to themselves, man. That's why. So the step
like
for
you to do that, dude, that's a spiritual path of like being 6 years into it of clean. And you said 6 years, correct me if I'm wrong. And then all of a sudden you had those tools, but it's not that you had them. You utilize those mofos. Like you're like, what am I doing here? What
exactly?
Pokemon?
So well, here's the thing, Louie. Here's the thing, bro. So 6 years, I practiced the 12 steps to the best of my capability, right? And in those 6 years, it helped me stay away from drugs and from alcohol. It wasn't easy. There were times where I had family members offer me, drinks and things like that because they're not aware, right? Well, in those 6 years, I at my 6-year anniversary, that's when I realized I wasn't practicing the 12 steps. I was just staying away from drugs and alcohol, practicing the 12 steps. The 12 steps ain't about drugs and alcohol, even though that's what it was intention.
About addictive personalities and not just yours,
we're
but theirs
all human,
too.
man. We're all human. We all got problems. We all deal with ourselves. We all deal with people. And those principles, because at the end of the day, that's what they are. They're principles. It's like having a father that raises you and gives you good, advice, right? That's basically what it is.
But you're listening, you must be. How were you as a young child? Like, were you very observant? Did you like look around? You pick up on stuff real good? Were you sure?
Yeah, I was a very smart young child. I was a very smart young child. I was. There's a lot. I mean, I'm not going to talk. That's a lot. Like that's a lot.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go. You don't have to go. I know. I went there.
I ain't afraid to tell you. I just don't. I don't.
No.
Think we got enough time.
The reason I'm kind of going is like because I'm trying to understand the real Alex, which you can show what you're showing, and people can kind of I get him. No, you don't. You don't know what this man's been through. You don't know what anybody's been through on this type of path. I'm not talking about just 12-step stuff and everything, but like we all have a story, and we got a lot of stories, and you're a good storyteller. Like you have I love the way when you got this personality like that just draws people over and go, Like one of the ladies that when I was watching the program, volume 1 or whatever you want to call episode 1, with the and I beg your pardon, I can't remember all their names, but one of them asked you, she's like, do you want to be healthy? Like when you guys were discussing, like, what is it that's, we're really getting to? And I think it was coming around the time when you guys were talking about knowing your why, knowing what we need to do. Maybe you said that. Is it really about knowing what we need to do? You want to talk a little bit about that? Knowing your why, kind of.
I mean, that's a tough question, but yeah, I guess nobody really knows why, right? So what we were talking about was like discovering the little whys. You know what I'm saying?
Good. That's good.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like when it comes to purpose, though, that's something that you can think but you don't really, really, really know for sure 100% until you probably are gone. You know what I'm saying? I feel I know what my purpose is. Am I right? I don't know, but I could tell you this: when you're when your understanding of what your purpose is aligns with your joy, your happiness, um, the sensation of fulfillment, when because fulfillment and purpose are two different things. So
Yeah.
if they align though, then I don't, your life just gets
It can
better.
be parallel.
Yeah, your life just gets better. So,
Sorry about that.
but to discover what that is, I mean, you really gotta.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that you really
You know,
gotta.
because like you guys
What I
were
do is,
talking about a lot of things. So like I'm only extracting, and maybe I'm taking it out of context too, Alex. I don't mean to do that. But like, when you guys were talking about, it is not like, for example, this is just an example. Like you said, I think it was you, Maeve said, it's not only a physical thing, it's also mentally, or it could be psychological, definitely emotionally, and which kind of can be like on that parallel with spiritual, like what are we missing and things like that, and I loved how you talked about structure and having steady kind of routines, and I'd love for you to talk a little bit about that and like how yours over the years of getting reacquainted with new structures, new routines, which are life changing, aren't they?
yeah, man. I mean, look, if you ever go, if hopefully you don't, but I'm saying in general, if people go to rehab, they go to rehab, they go there, and then if it's a good one, you're going to be told to make your bed. You're going to be
Mm-hmm.
told to brush your
Mm-hmm.
teeth every time you eat. You're going to be told to take a shower every day. All these little things that for regular people is a normal activity and it becomes routine, right? Well,
Yeah.
rehab in that sense is you learning how to live again. Okay, so that's the difference between rehab and recovery. Recovery is getting back the things that you've lost. So everybody's lost something in their life, and I don't mean material or physical. I mean more emotional and spiritual. And emotional and
Mm-hmm.
mental are basically the same thing because your emotions do come from the brain and all that stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
mentally, how you think will be how you feel. But at the end of the day, getting back the things we've lost as far as like self discipline, as far as trust, as far
Yeah.
as love, as far as self respect, dignity, right? Those kind of things are the what recovery is about. So when it comes to doing these little routines, we do them so that we can have structure in our life, so that we can build discipline, so we can build independence. Because independence, not independence, but with dependence, there
Mm-hmm.
is dependence.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying, and
No,
that's
I actually do,
spiritual
because an
level right
extension of like 12 steps is like there's a program called Al-Anon,
there. Mhm.
which I have no problem admitting, like I'm starting to get involved with that because I'm realizing the codependent, attitudes that come along with that. And it's like, oh,
Yeah,
that's,
codependency at the end of the day is when somebody else controls your emotions in the sense that um, somebody makes a face, and that face alone, just the face, they haven't said nothing to you, you haven't even spoken to them, but just their facial expression will make your entire emotional state, your mental state change. And that's
yeah,
codependency. And that happens a lot with like, parents who, don't like push their kids to grow up, you know what I'm saying, and like
yeah,
things like that. It happens a lot. It happens a lot because of two things: you're either loved too much or you're not loved enough. And those two right there, from what I've seen with like hundreds of people that I've helped counsel and stuff like that in addiction, um it really boils down to that. They were either not loved enough or they were loved way too much. And the thing with love is that there's a misconception or misunderstanding of it. We think it's difficult. We don't understand love because we think it's an emotion. And at the end of the day, it's not. Do you feel good because of love? Yeah, you can totally feel amazing. Could you be hurt because of love?
yeah,
Yeah, you can.
yeah.
But the
No, I love
actual
that because
love,
like I think in terms of movies and stories and history and stuff. And one of the things I remember watching this, my mom like dropped me off. Speaking of love, like when I really wanted to hang out with her, she'd be like, "Go see a movie." She'd drop you off for here's a couple dollars the whole day, and she'd like leave my ass there, like 5 hours. A kid don't want to be like alone for 5 hours, but in the movie theater. But I go see movies. I went to go see Richard Pryor's The Toy. Do you remember that one?
nope.
And long story short, it's about this little rich kid who like had everything he wanted. Like he was so damn spoiled. But what he really wanted was, like you said, he wanted to be loved. So it's like he wasn't either loved enough or he had too much. And he was like on that weird fine line where until he met this guy, Richard Pryor, who the dad thought he can buy, talk about like a hidden underlying stories there, like, oh, you think you can buy me? And it's like, yeah, for my kid, because he needs you. And it was just like one of those little weird stories where like now all the stuff's coming up. It's all coming up, It's like what I heard you guys talk about and what I hear you talk about like in the past is like, how can you step it up, and beginning that more conscious journey of like really about the transformation, and I've seen you speak about it maybe sometimes just in terms of pounds, but I know it's so much more than that for you. And everything else that you've taken. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I agree with you. I mean, at the end of the day, the only reason I even mention the weight is because it's what everybody notices the most, right? It's what people can understand easily.
Yeah.
Because to actually feel what I feel, you have to feel it. It's just that simple. And to feel energetic, to be able to, have more clarity mentally, to be more focused and driven, to be happy, dude. Like those things are things that you can't just put a number on, right? Where the weight, people understand that. And I do that because I know that that's where we start at. We start at that very simple, outlook of,
Exactly.
outlook of, oh, I need to lose 50 pounds or I need to lose 10 pounds. I got clients that only need to lose 10 pounds and they're starting and they have the right mindset because it's not 10 pounds to them. It's how they feel. You know what I'm saying? And being able to maintain an overall optimized health, throughout their whole life, having
on a
health
reoccurring basis. Yeah. Their whole life.
because this is the thing. And it's not to go against diets or nothing, because the truth is diets work. Diets do work. You can go on a diet and you will lose weight. That's what diets are intended for. Diets are for you to lose weight. But the problem is the majority of people always gain that weight back because they never took the time to really work on what matters and how to maintain that weight loss or that health, right? So diets get you to your weight loss, but then what? So, like, for example,
that's a great point because, like, we're not just talking about food here and whatnot, but yes, we are. Like for let's say in this case, like, I'm guilty of it. Like, I'll be like, I don't got time. I got to run through, go pick me up a Taco Bell or something. I know I do better than that.
It's a
but like you
habit.
said, what is it? That's what I was getting to. Is like, so you got this, like, yeah, I can do it. I can lose, weight, but what is it I'm really trying to get rid of? Is it the pounds? Is it those calories? Or is it the bad habits and things that go along with that structurally, because if you're on a body, mind, and spirit, and I'm just using those simple three terms. I know it goes deeper than that. And there's so many sub levels we can talk about, and everybody's path is like got different ways of perspectives. It's, what is it we really want to do constantly with intention? And I always ask that to the resellers, but also let's go here to people that make content creation. Like, what are you providing nutritious wise? And I don't mean like food. Like, what can we provide as merchants and as content creators? What can we provide to others that stumble on our channel? How can we help others? And whatnot?
Yeah, that because that's what it's about, right? Giving. Like, what are you putting on this earth? What are you doing?
I like to think it is. Yeah,
that's my outlook. That's how I look at it.
I think, yeah, I see it clearly with you because I can see how many people you're helping. Imagine the ones that don't talk, that just learn.
Yeah.
It's great to know that. Like, and if anybody's listening to this and replaying this dude, if you don't know him, go down below. I put the links. Check him out. He's approachable. If you think you got something deep and dark, I'm sure he'll say, like, this is something you can do about it, but you got to do the steps. You got to work you got to walk the path. You got to do it.
Yeah.
And
it literally takes one step with everything. Like we were saying earlier, man. I had the addiction thing with the drugs and stuff, but I realized that it wasn't that. And I always knew, but I kind of steered away from everything. You know what I'm saying? And I stopped practicing it the way I was practicing it before, and it caught up to me. And at the end of the day, what I'm doing now is amazing because it makes the nutritional part like, so the reason I've even lost weight is because the nutrition part is made easy for me. I used to do macros, I've done Atkins, I've done keto, I've done almost every diet. I've been to UFC gym. I was taking sparring classes. I've always tried to get healthy. But there was always something missing because I would always mess up because life would happen. Life happens. The things, especially when you have something that's so complicated because you have to keep count and you have to, the timings and all this stuff. And then the time you have to invest into this stuff
Yes.
to
Yeah.
be able to even maintain that, or let alone get to a healthy, goal.
And it is talking about like healthy goals, and you're talking about nutrition, but I'm also like, I think of like, if we're talking about eating, but I'm also thinking about like what you put in your mind, nutritiously,
Yeah.
putting in your heart, like when every time you get angry at somebody, what's the real thing? And going back, and I'm getting back to another little trajectory here is like you said, you gotta feel it. And I know 100% about that because we all hide our feelings in different ways, and everybody's like, oh, you're getting mushy. No. Like, to be honest, I challenge anybody here who thinks they know it all, because we all have something to learn, is how can we really feel something if we're eating our emotions? How can we really feel something if we're like hiding it up here and not thinking and keeping a real hyper focus where we're like, that's the ball, I need to keep
It's
the ball,
Yeah, and we actually mentioned it last on Friday, where like we watch scary movies and we get scared, and that's actually unhealthy for us because our body it shuts down almost, because when you're in fear and flight mode, your body like does this crazy
your
stuff.
adrenaline's different now.
Yeah, your adrenaline, everything changes. So like everything, right? So, but we get almost addicted to that. Like I enjoy when I heard that, I was like, dude, that sucks. I love scary movies, right? Like I
Yeah.
love getting scared. Like I want to travel the country, and visit all these haunted places and stuff. But now it's got me thinking, is that healthy for me? I mean, I'm still gonna do it, to be honest with you. But
I love that you're able to question those intentions, though. But you know what I mean? It's like, well, where's my really deep rooted meaning for? And as I get my hand close, why do I need to do that? You get to change. You get to, and I say this. Hear me out, Alex. You get to. It's a privilege. We get to change our perspectives. Like, and I always say, if you want to better yourself, how can you change the direction of what you're looking at? Because if you miss that aim, we're like archers. We're trying to hit that target. We got weekly aims to meet those daily. I mean, we got daily aims to meet that weekly goal. So I was trying to. And we got our monthly goals and this and that. And it's not about cursing ourselves. It's just about like, okay, I'm getting pissed off. What is it? What is that? What's that old saying? Halt. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. And it's like, is it one of those things? That's a good check-in point. And whatever tools you got in your belt. But I love what you're doing, man. It's so rich. It's not just that it's positive. It's honest. Whether you get it or not, anybody that's listening, Alex is on a mighty path, and it's like it's something that every individual, I think we can pick something out of our lives and say, whether you're just talking about reselling, and I'll go there for a little bit for those of the resell, there's always something you can do to better improve. Like we had Christopher from Daily Refinement. He's like, yeah, how can you daily refine your? He didn't say perfect it, he just said refine things, keep changing your life to make it healthy, because but you're going to like avoid feeling those things coming in, all the time, I imagine.
yeah.
I mean,
And going back to the nutritional of like feeding your mind and stuff like that. Like for example, I'll give you an example of me. Every single morning, I would wake up and I'd be listening to like Tupac, which ain't too bad. Tupac's good. He always spoke
he's got some
cool
good
stuff.
poetry. Okay,
He got some good poetry. I would listen to Tupac, Biggie. I listened to like just rap music mainly because that's what I was raised on for the most part. But I love all kind of music, so I'll listen to a little bit of everything. But I said one day I was working, and I always got the music playing on the TV in the background. And I'm not really listening to it, but then I noticed there was something strange. And what is that? And it's like this spa music. And I look up, and it's like it was like a acid trip, and they're saying like positive words. Like
Mhm.
I am confident.
Affirmations.
It was affirmations, bro. And ever since
Yes.
that happened, so I fell asleep like that. I fell asleep. It
Wow.
put me to sleep. I wasn't even paying attention to it. It put me to sleep. I woke up the next morning. It's still playing because it was like a 24-hour long video or 8-hour long video. I don't know.
Oh,
It's
like on
still playing.
YouTube or something like that.
Yeah, it was on YouTube. And then I'm like, you know what? I like that. Let me keep it on throughout the day. Let me see what happens. And I've never been more
It
productive
changes
in my
the
life.
frequencies, which is energy
Everything.
in our brain. And you know what? Like all of a sudden you realize, why am I a little less tense? Why am I not focused on this? You know, because thank you for addressing that, because a lot of people don't want to talk about it and they think, oh, you guys are talking, you
It's
know.
boring to people, man. It's boring. Let's be honest.
But you know
bro.
what?
It's boring.
Sometimes it's like a retreat. And I know you get some of the terms I'm talking about. You got to go through a retreat in life sometimes. And unfortunately, like for addictive personalities, that's somebody that's got a deep rooted issue, then that's why they call it rehab. It's rehabilitating, is to help to retreat. I take spiritual retreats. People think, what you don't go on a vacation? I'm like, no, I go on a spiritual retreat for like 5 days to 7 days to 10. And the most I ever did was 10 days. And it's just all silence. People are like, what? Are you sick in the head? And I'm like, no, but that's how I get rid of some of that sickness in the head. You know, it's like, how do I maintain my focus so I can elevate? I got to clear out sometimes. It's like you got to clean house, get that broom, you know, and back to what, like you said, you know, what are you putting in your head? Like, speaking of which, what are you reading right now, Alex? What, like, do you have any authors you like? What books and stuff?
So right now I'm reading a book called The Life Book, but that's not available. Well, I think you might be able to get it, but it's basically part of my program. So I've been reading that, and it's really
Any
good.
authors stick out?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember authors' names. I
Me
was
neither. I'm
reading a
bad.
book, and I finished reading it. It's called Mach 2 with Your Hair on Fire or something like that. That thing's good. It's a little itty bitty book. It's thin, but
I
it's
love
really
those.
cool. Yeah, you gotta check that out. That's a really
Mach
good book.
2.
I can't remember the author's name. It's right over there. But
I'll look it up. Yeah.
Yeah, look it up. It's pretty good.
Post it later, and I'll put a link for it or something.
I made a post about it a while ago when I first opened it up.
So they can go back and check
I'll
that
share
out.
it with you. I'll
That's
tag you.
good.
I'll tag you on the post.
Do that. I love. No, I'm a book reader, but I don't have. This is my one guiltiness, that's my issue, is I complain about it. I don't got enough time to read. You gotta take. I think we were talking about this before you came on. How do you and what are you doing to take time for Alex?
Time isn't real, dude. Everybody, I laugh because
I know it's no. Go ahead. No. I know what you get.
I was losing you there for a second. Yo, time is just not real, man. I laugh because it's like I've been there. Like I know what it's like to be that guy who says, "I don't have time. I don't have time," and I still do it, dude. That's the crazy part. So here's
mechanical.
The thing: I'm not
it's
perfect,
very mechanical.
yo. I'm not perfect, yo. Like I talk about these things because for anything, more than anything, is to remind myself. When you hear an influencer put a nice post with a quote and it's all pretty and it's very, deep and thoughtful, and you're like, oh wow, that's so great. You know why they put that there? They put that there because they read it or they thought it, and it inspired, like it gave them, like it fed them. So they were like, let me share this with people. You know what I'm saying? It's not because they're perfect, dude. Like they're going to say things. We're going to say things as people, and then we're going to fall, or we're going to mess up. So like with the whole time thing, I laugh because the truth is time doesn't exist. The only time that exists is right this very moment right now.
Amen.
And we make time. So whether, you could say, oh, I don't have time to read, but it's because you'd rather put your time into something else. You'd rather watch Netflix, or you'd rather go to the store and shop, or you'd rather hang out with your kids,
distract yourself with whatever it is, be it addictions or just, or mindfulness,
Whatever it is, we choose at the end of the day what we do with our time, and we'd rather not read a book. I didn't like reading books. I honestly still don't really care too much to read books. Mm-hmm. It's something I'm trying to build into my healthy habits.
But I know you do. Like you've been through that 12 step, and you got to read that stuff, but you got to read it and get it. And then
12 step is the only book besides this last one that I read that I've read from front to back more than once, and I've multiple times, and it's because you kind of have to. But
that thing speaks volumes. It's very biblical in terms of its I'm not saying it's religious. I'm just saying it's biblical in terms of its like profound wisdom. It's profound. And I will say, I'm going to admit it here. Like, I have been through the step program, one time. And then there was a time where, like, I'm going to move forward. And right now I'm going to see what and I'm balancing life. But like you said, do you want to do it? Do you, you got time is this, there's a word we use. It's very horizontal. It's like, it's all in the head, perception. You're right. But what's most important is what's in front of you, then and there now, and where you put your attention. I think how that saying goes.
Yep.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. We thank you. We were kind of Alex and I are getting in this like really deep, profound quandary, which I know he's already heard half of it, and he's like, but it's good to remind ourselves, like you said. It's awesome. It's awesome to have you here. Let's talk a little bit real quick. We're going to change because we're getting short on time, and I don't want to keep you too much longer because I know you gotta be somewhere. And
I got a thing. I got a few things.
Yeah, we all got things. It's that time. It's that time. No, I'm just teasing. So Oscar is one of the guys that you get to hang out with, and it's called this program you guys do. Do you guys swap the channels? It's called Bad Boys still. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's always been the bad boy. Well, it hasn't always been. I mean, we went through all these things. Back in the day when me and Jordan actually started it. Jordan, who's my flipping life, he was called DG Picker, and
he backed out, right?
Scott the Bearded Picker, and all these other guys. They kind of told us, kind of pushed us to go live, and we did. We're young YouTubers, new resellers, and so we just got together, started talking, and we picked Saturday night because no one else was going live on Saturday night that we knew, and we pretty much knew the whole entire community. This was like back then, no one went live, dude. It was crazy. Wow. Yeah.
Now everybody, you can't get a space.
Now it's like, and you try to be considerate of people's time, and because you support them, you want to be there and show love and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just impossible, but. So we did the Saturday thing, and then it grew, and then it changed, and then there was things that happened, and there's a lot of things that I could talk about. But long story short, it's called the Bad Boys Live now. We took reselling out of it because we just did.
Because life doesn't only circle around reselling; it circles around us living a healthy and productive life, which can help us be productive.
We change, and there's nothing stopping us from changing except ourselves. And we're always in continuous change, whether we want to or not. So why not change for things that you want to aspire to do, aspire to be? And I aspire to change the world. So to change the world,
change for the better, right?
Yeah, I want to change the world, dude. I really want to change the world. I want to, when I'm not here anymore, I want the world to be a better place because of me being here. And I have a lot of catching up to do because for 30 years of my life, or at least 18 of that, I've made the world the worst place. So now I'm doing everything in my power to make the world a better place.
But it's never too late. We know that. We know this, brother.
Yeah. By changing myself, man. That's it. Just by changing myself. So Oscar El Cubanazo, that's my homeboy. That's my brother. He's gonna be my best man when I get married. There's a funny thing about that.
That is a stand-up guy. They've invited me on his other little nightly program he do with what's his name, Michael. And it's just talking to him, you guys are so rich with knowledge and wisdom, and not just about reseller stuff, but him and I, we started going at it one day, and dude, word in edgewise.
Oscar, it's awesome to know Oscar. Oscar is very, he's like me. He's like me in a lot of ways. He's generous, he's loving, he's caring, he's thoughtful, he's smart, authentic, dude. There's no bull. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't even do YouTube. I tell people to subscribe to him, but for what? He doesn't even put out videos. He doesn't care. He just
only reason authentic about him. He's being him, you. And I'm just trying to be me here, and and that's why I told Luis, I said, I'm going crazy on this show if we don't have a show that's a being of service. And being of service, there's a Indian word from India called seva. Same thing. It's called being selfless. Serving. How can you help others? And you get that in the step program or whatever spiritual path. We need to help other people, and before we can help ourselves sometimes too, or in order to understand how to help ourselves, let's help some other folks, along the way. I think you're well beyond that path. I know you already help people, whether you're aware of it or not. We can't be aware of everything when they're hiding behind the screen, but I praise you, my brother. And anytime you want, you're always welcome here. You know, I think we haven't even just touched the surface. I know you got so many more good things coming your way. You know, let me end it here real quick. I want to say, because we need to cut it short. Where do you see yourself? I want to cut that number down because time is irrelevant here. But in about a year, what would you like to see yourself? What would you know? Because you already accomplished a lot in these last half a year, I would say.
So in a year, I'd like to see myself married, with the love of my life. I'd like to have my at least one property already by that time. I hope to have my first property by the end of the year. So remember, I was homeless not too long ago.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've been
to get married too.
yeah. Well, that's an easy part, but the hard part is getting the house. So you know, and it's not really hard because I've been studying it. So that's another part that I haven't really talked about because it's kind of like private for me. So I'm just mentioning it. But yeah, I'm getting into real estate and things like that. I want to own my first not only investment property, but also like I want to live there and make it partly investing so that there's cash flow. Anyway, so on my first property by next year, I would like to have more than one, but let's go with that one. Be married and just helping people, man. I just want to help people. I wake up every single day with the motivation that, you know, my first thought is who's on my heart today? Who can I reach out to that I can, you know, give them what they're looking for, dude? You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's looking for something. You're looking for something. Yeah. You right now are looking for something. You might not even know what it is, but there's something missing, and you're trying.
We all seek. Well, at least spiritual people are seekers.
And it's not even just spiritual either. It's in every aspect, mental,
no, you got it. You got it. You're right.
We're all looking for something. And I just want to be that light. Like, hey, look, here, I can help you find it. I want to help you find it. I want to hold the flashlight for you while you go.
Just hold the lantern and point the direction. Give them some guidance. Yeah.
That's all I want, dude. That's all I care about. Look, at the end of the day, I'm blessed. I'm grateful for what I have. And I'm grateful for what I don't have too. Right. And I'm very, very hopeful today, where at one point in my life I wasn't. All right. So that's where I see myself. I see myself just continuing to go wherever I go, man. Just continuing to go wherever I go.
Thank you for being here, Alex. I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, Louie, man. I appreciate you reaching out to me, man.
No. And, you know, like I said, it's been a long time coming. Would you come back another day? I'd love to have you. That way you meet Luis and we can go on different, whatever. You got a project you going on. I'd love to see your story. And it's not so much about the success. It's just about where you're at the time, because it's success in one way is that if you stop trying, it's when it's, you know, you can't stagnate too long. And like you said, it's constant change and stuff. But with your heart of gratitude, I see you flourishing like tenfold. I know you're going to go far. You're going to
already blossomed so much in these last 6 months, man. So
I know you have, man. And you know what? And the thing is, you recognize that blessing. And so you just keep counting them, and it's just you're going to keep going farther. And I see you helping lots of people, and you already have, just by sharing your story, just being here with integrity and honesty. I want to thank you very much. So let's maintain our focus and elevate. This has been Mindful Merchants, everybody. Shout out to everybody in the chat. If you guys don't know that man right here, you better follow him, check him out. Like, if you want some authentic content creation that has meaning, go check him out. He's a good guy.
Yeah, definitely. And if I could, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yep, no, please jump in.
I don't know if you got my Facebook linked in the thing, but go check out my Facebook. All right. Whatever you do to find somebody's Facebook, it's facebook.com, whatever. The last part, it's Coach That Man. So look for me, follow me there, send me a friend request. All that, because I've been very, very active on Facebook, and I put out stories, I post, I talk about other people's transformations, life, inspirational stuff, and it's really what I enjoy doing. So definitely go check me out on Facebook.
I'm going to put it down. Here's a little disclosure for anybody rewatching this, and anybody listening in the chat that you're listening, is I'm going to put Alex's Facebook link. He's going to send it to me shortly in about an hour, and I'll get it adjusted on the YouTube channel. I'll make sure you got it on there, bro. Okay.
Thanks, brother. Thanks.
All right, you guys check them out. Any questions, email them. I want to keep it and be respectful of your time, because I know we're cutting it real short here. And I'd love to talk to you some more. We're going to have you back another day, okay?
Faux shizzle.
All right. Peace, you guys.
Peace, y'all. Thank you.